start, sir. Sir, अभी webinar.
Sir, we are live. Good to go.
Okay. Well, good evening, especially our resource person and eminent speaker, Dr. Bijay Gogoi, and all the participants in today's webinar. A good evening to all, and hope each one of you are keeping well. Take care and stay safe. At the beginning, I'm just wishing all you are very good health. As you know, this word telemedicine, although this is not a very new terminology, it has become more familiar during this coronavirus pandemic lockdown period. And since then, probably we have had a lot of seminars, lot of webinars in this particular topic, because this new normal situation of pandemic has created an extraordinary situation. An extraordinary situation requires extraordinary measure. Although telemedicine was not practiced or not being was a kind of a part of our practicing life, now it has become mandatory that we should know and we should learn regarding telemedicine. Because situation is such, I don't require to explain it, that we need to take care of our patient and we need to take care of them from a distance. That regular patient coming to our clinic, to our hospitals, OPDs, has become a nightmare. And we do not know how long this particular situation will continue. Although we are very optimistic and hopeful that science, that human being and humanity will be able to overcome, and they will be able to take this challenge and bring out a solution more positively. Having said that, since telemedicine has become a part of our life for all the practitioners, all the physicians, and especially the medical fraternity, we should know what it is all about. In our past telemedicine's webinars, as Dr. Bijay has already briefed me, we have had a lot of discussions about what is telemedicine is all about, when it has come into being. After the later part of the March, the government of India has given a guidelines, and we know that we can apply telemedicine only to a patient whom we know. A first-time patient, we cannot apply these telemedicines. Then if the patient is 6 months old, then again we need to register him as a new patient. All these do's and don'ts, most of us know about it. Now let us today hear from Dr. Bijay something different. How to handle the devices, what are the technical part of it that we as a psychiatrist should know and get more oriented to these aspects so that we are equipped. Maybe today we are not applying telemedicines more frequently. Maybe the time will come, we have to know and we have to equip ourselves perfectly and properly regarding all these aspects of telemedicine. So without wasting any more time in introduction, let me straight away call upon Dr. Bijay Gogoi to present his views on pragmatic telepsychiatry for the beginners. As all of you know, the Bijay Gogoi is a renowned psychiatrist. He's an associate professor of psychiatry in LGBRIMH Tezpur, Assam, and all of you are very much aware about his academic activities and his keen knowledge, inquisitive nature to know psychiatry and to percolate all his knowledge to all the colleagues. So let us hear from him. And Dr. Bijay, now the platform is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for for highlighting the importance of telemedicine, which the current times has placed upon us. And also thank you for introducing me and giving such good compliments. Why I selected this topic, as you have already mentioned, sir, is because the telemedicine practice guidelines, after that telemedicine, telepsychiatry operational guidelines, such guidelines have come up, and multiple presentations have been made on this. What are the sections? What are the categories? What do they actually mean? But I found that most of the presentations, they lack the details in how to start a telemedicine or telepsychiatric practice. What are the technological know-how? What are the privacy and safety issues that we need to consider? What are the data management techniques? So I thought of starting this, come up with this presentation where I can describe these things in a bit in detail. But before I go ahead with my presentation, I would like to make a disclaimer here that this presentation is a discussion of the LGBRIMH model, the model which we are following now for the past 3 months. Now, when MCI came up with this guideline on 25th of March, and we anticipated that the coronavirus is going to stay here for a while, maybe a year or two. So we thought that yes, definitely telemedicine has a scope, and definitely it was a very good time for the release of these guidelines, because it gave us a skeleton to fall into if we had any doubts. I also say that this is not a perfect model. I am not saying that this model has to be applied by everybody and this is a perfect model. No, many people might already be using or doing teleconsultations. They might have a different model. But this is why I wanted to present this as LGBRIMH model, is because ours is a government setup and we cater to patients who come from a very rural background. They have got limited technological knowledge. So we had to come up with solutions which would help these patients to get the services from our institute. The third is this, the technology platforms which I will be describing here are not the only technological solutions available. There are multiple available in the on the internet, which are, some are paid, some are freely available. So everyone is free to try out all the different platforms. I will not be discussing each and every point of the telemedicine guidelines or the telepsychiatry operational guidelines, because these have already been discussed, and I assume that you already have gone through both the guidelines. However, wherever necessary, I will point out certain facts. And we found that the telepsychiatry operational guidelines, as well as also the telepsychiatry operational guidelines, the telemedicine practice guidelines, we have some amount of disagreements with certain, categories or certain clause, but that is totally a personal opinion. You can have your own views on that. Before we start, I would like to thank our director, sir, who gave us a lot of support in establishing this telemedicine center. And these are the team members, Dr. Subhashis Nath, Dr. Kunal Dev, and Dr. Siddheshwara BL, along with myself. We 4 other members of the telemedicine center of LGBRIMH, and we have developed an SOP of how to go about taking teleconsultations. Now, if we see the timeline of how this telemedicine has evolved after the release of these guidelines, you see on 25th March, telemedicine practice guideline came up. Then came the MCI modification of list A, where they have included 3 drugs, phenobarbital, clobazam, and clonazepam. Those were incorporated in list A. Otherwise, benzodiazepines are always included in the prohibited list. Then came in April, the frequently asked questions for telemedicine practice guideline. I request everyone to go through the guidelines, TPG guidelines, as well as the FAQs together, because the FAQ will give you a very good idea about what the individual section it means. Then came the gadget notification, nothing different. It's the same guideline in a gadget notification. And then came in May, the telepsychiatry operational guidelines. This was developed by Telemedicine Society of India, TSI, in collaboration with NIMHANS and IPS, Indian Psychiatric Society. However, all these guidelines, this is an excerpt from the telemedicine practice guideline, TPG, but they say that all these guidelines, they specifically exclude in discussion of the specifications for hardware or software, the infrastructure which is required, the data management techniques, the standards, and the interoperability. So these things are not discussed in these guidelines. So I thought, why not present things so that it makes easier for people to establish a telemedicine center or facility. So today's agenda, first I will be talking about the technology. I'm not a computer expert, I know that, But even then, basic technology things, if we know, life becomes much easier for us. The second is appointments, how to schedule appointments, what are the things that we need to consider. Third is the consent. Fourth, prescription, privacy and security issues, data management, and lastly, the challenges as well as the solutions. Now, if we categorize the mental health professionals, or say maybe any RMP, registered medical practitioners, they can be divided into two parts broadly. One is who is working in a government setup and one who is working in a private setup. Now, there are differences in the government as well as the private sector because, say for example, in government setup, you have a better infrastructure. You have good rooms, good technology. So you definitely have a better infrastructure. But in private, maybe the person will not be so interested in investing so much of money in technology or gadgets and other things. Second is governments, they usually provide free services. So they do not, there's no transaction of money. But in private, definitely they would need to have a consultation fees. In government setup, they have got additional manpower. They have got technology assistance, then other manpower who can help you in data keeping, data recording, other things. But private, it's mostly a solo act. You need to do all on your own because if you hire somebody, you'll have to pay him. So these are the differences. Now, why I'm highlighting the differences is because when you select your technology, when you select your infrastructure, you need to consider all these things. How much are you going to invest? How much will you be able to, take it forward? Let's start with technology. Now, when we say technology, there are basically two parts. One is the hardware, the other is the software. In medical terms, if we try to explain it, hardware is the anatomy and software is the physiology. So now in a hardware, what are the things that we need for a video consultation? I am considering all teleconsultations as of now, whatever I will speak, I will consider video consultation to be as the model. Because if you go through the TPG guideline as well as the POG guideline, everyone says that video guideline is much better if feasible. Now, hardware, you need, what do you need? You need an internet-enabled device. It can be a smartphone, it can be a tablet, laptop, desktop, whatever. But there are differences. There are advantages as well as disadvantages. We are using a desktop as well as a smartphone. Now, I'll come to that later on why we are using a smartphone and a desktop and how we are using it differently. So it can be done with any one. Now, if you want to have a video consultation, obviously you'll need a camera, you'll need a microphone, you'll need an audio to listen to the person. It can be a headphone or it can be a speaker. And it's also better to have a printer or a printer cum scanner. Scanner is more important here, why I will tell you later in the prescription section. Now let us come to the software. Now, software is one which enables us to communicate and to run this technology. We need software for communication. We need to have something to communicate with the patient, to share certain documents, to send certain message, to receive documents and message, to make video calls, audio calls. So we need a communication platform. Second thing we need is a digital signature. What is a digital signature? I will tell you, explain it later. This is required only for e-prescriptions. The third, for private mostly, we need a payment platform. And the fourth is how to keep the data. We need software to keep the data, archiving the data. Now, when we talk about communication platform, how do we select it? See, if you look carefully, most of our Indian population, they are not that tech savvy. They find it difficult to, if you take rural population, they find it difficult to even download an application, a software. So how do you expect them? They don't even know what is teleconsultation. They don't even have any idea about that, yes, consultation can be done through video. We also do not have. We only came to know last 3 months and then we have started developing these things. So we cannot expect them to use very techy softwares. So it has to be easy so that patients do not find it difficult to reach us. Otherwise, there's no point in starting telemedicine. Then secondly, it has to be safe. It's not that I'm using a software, but this software is, losing all my private information everywhere on the internet. It should be safe. The third is no one is going to pay extra money. Look at our patients. They are not going to pay extra money or to buy a software to have teleconsultation. Rather, they will come here in the hospital and have a teleconsultation. So it has to be affordable. And third is this technology over the others. If I find all these three over the others, it should have some technological advantage. Now, with our limited knowledge and searching the most commonly used platforms, we found that the winner is WhatsApp. WhatsApp really works. How? I will show you step by step later on. WhatsApp is a very wonderful application. It can be used for video conferencing. However, there are certain limitations of WhatsApp. Now, I told you that if you use an internet-enabled device, let's say a smartphone, and you also make a video call through that smartphone. Now, in that smartphone, if you get a LTE call or a normal call, obviously your voice over internet protocol calls, like internet calls, video will be blocked. So what happens is you will not be able to continue the teleconsultation smoothly. WhatsApp says that it is end-to-end encrypted. We need to know what is end-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption means that only you and the other party can see whatever is shared between the two of you. Not even WhatsApp can see. That is called end-to-end encrypted. However, it is not totally private or secure. Why I say it is not totally secured is, say for example, the patient's phone got lost and someone else is looking in his WhatsApp. So everything will be visible. Anyway, but even then this is safe. It can be used only in a phone or a tablet. You cannot use WhatsApp in a desktop. We have tried using the WhatsApp on the in the desktop using WhatsApp web, but it does not facilitate the video consultation. So you need to apply third-party applications, which we did not want. Because third-party applications, if you use, you are using another party who is a party to the communication interaction between you and the patient. So it becomes a third party. So it's better, not good for security. And it is not HIPAA compliant. Now, what is HIPAA compliant and whether we should be bothered about if it is HIPAA compliant or not, I will talk that later in the privacy and security. But anyway, the winner is WhatsApp. So we have been using WhatsApp to communicate with the patient in terms of sending messages, receiving documents, and sending our documents. But for video consultation, we use one of the platforms which is available, which is doxy.me. It is freely available. You also have a paid versions. With paid versions, you get extra benefits. So we are using, as of now, doxy.me. Maybe later on, if better facilities come, we may switch over to something else. Now, this is the technology part. So we use WhatsApp, we use doxy. But how do we do all these things? Let's come to the appointments. Always, it is preferable to use a separate email and phone number. You will not never want to use the same phone number, your personal phone number, to receive all the appointments and documents and by patients, prescriptions repeatedly. You need to have a separate mail. It is also very important to have a separate email or a WhatsApp number because you need to archive this data for later use. If the court wants someday that please show me the details of these patients who had teleconsultation with you, then you need to get all this data back and you have to provide it. It is your responsibility as per the requirement. So what we do is we have a separate email and a phone number. You schedule appointments for the next day, if preferable. Why next day? What we have been doing here is we take the appointments today. We see whether the person fulfills the criteria of follow-up consult. We currently are looking only follow-up consult and of LGBRIMH and new patients through a RMP, registered medical practitioner. So what happens is when you schedule an appointment for tomorrow, today you get the time to take out the file, review the file, come to a diagnosis or at least make up something of that case, and then maybe have the consultation tomorrow. So you have some time, buffer time. Between each appointments, it's better to have a gap of around 15 minutes. Sometimes the consultations can take go beyond 15 minutes. And sometimes it ends within 5 to 10 minutes. Most of the cases, it ends within 15 minutes. So the extra minute can be used to document the findings, to generate the prescription, and then send him over. So it's better to maintain a gap of 15 minutes between the appointments, but that is again up to your choice. What we do here is we receive a call for an appointment, and then we also send him back a flyer giving him the information about the practice of telemedicine, its limitations, before scheduling the appointment. And then we give him another instruction of step-by-step guide on how to join for a consultation. This is always very helpful because, you know, people are, like I said, they are not tech savvy. They don't know how to connect the camera, how to connect the microphone. So if you show them step by step, it's always beneficial. Payments can also be talked about during the time of appointment. And on the day of appointment, please be on time, because patients, it's a new thing for them, and they always expect the doctors to be on time, so it's better. So in LGBRIMH, how do we follow? So first is patient calls up, sends his prescription to the WhatsApp number. We do not initiate anything. They call up, we say, okay, please send your prescriptions. So they will send their prescriptions with the UHID number, unique identity number. We send the instructions in 2 languages, English and Assamese, of what to do, what not to do. As per the instructions, patients send in the details through the WhatsApp. So all communications you see is going on through WhatsApp. Fulfilling all the criteria, we schedule an appointment for the next day. Then the next day before the appointment time, we search the file, search the registry. We'll see whether the patient has come to our institute, whether he has come to our institute within the last 6 months or not, because this is a follow-up consult. And if we fulfills the criteria, we do the registration. Once registered, we do at the time of appointment, we send him the link, .doxy.me, we send him the link. Through that link, the patient connects us for a video call. This is a template of the instructions that we send to the patient. One is in English and one is in Assamese. We send both. You need to take care of the local language because many people might not understand English. So it's better if you give a picture and local language of what to do, what not to do. It becomes easy for them. We also keep a log of all the appointments which are made. Why? As per the telemedicine practice guidelines, you need to keep a log of everything. You need to document everything. So in Excel sheet, we keep everything. The name, the unique ID, the age, contact number, the day of appointment, and the remarks, whether the consultation was done or it was cancelled for some reason. You want to say the patient was called for in-person consultation, whatever your remarks are. So it's always better to keep a track of it. So this is just a template of our model. So this is how the appointment is done. Next, coming to the consent. Now, telemedicine practice guideline, also the ETOG guidelines, they all say there are 2 types of consent. One is the implied consent and one is the explicit consent. The implied consent is very easy to understand. If the patient approaches you, it is implied. He comes to your clinic, it is implied. The explicit, if a healthcare worker or a caregiver or an RMP initiates a consultation, then you have to seek an explicit consent from the patient. Remember, from the patient. So 4.3 section of the telemedicine practice guideline, TPG, it says that an explicit consent can be recorded in any form. Patient can send an email, which our patient usually cannot. Text or audio video message. Text message, again, I don't know, it is also very difficult for a villager to write a text in WhatsApp in English, or audio or video message. Patient can state his or her intent on phone or video to the RMP. Yes, I consent to avail teleconsultation via telemedicine. I'm not generalizing this for everyone, but most of our Indian patients, they do not know what consultation is, what telemedicine is, what teleconsultation is. So how it is very, and this cannot be expected from each and every patient that they will follow. So we have some reservation on how to take this explicit consent. So what we have done is, in our instructions leaflet, we ask them to send this following. Write down in a piece of paper and send the photograph. What is the name of the patient? What is the name of caller? Relation of caller with the patient? And what is the purpose of consultation? So this more or less serves the purpose that the caller who is making the call, he will write his name, the patient's name, he will write the relationship and the purpose of consultation. It it is understood that the patient wants teleconsultation. That is why he is sending all these details to me. So this is a form of consent that we are taking. The other thing which we do is during the live discussion on the day of appointment, when we make a teleconsultation, we ask the patient whether he is comfortable in doing a video consultation with us in simple languages. Then if he says yes, you just record it in the file. That should be fine. Now, once you do the consultation, you are satisfied that yes, this candidate fulfills the category of teleconsultation, and I have a provisional diagnosis. I'm satisfied that I'll be able to give him a prescription. So we then generate a prescription. Now in telemedicine, we have basically two types of prescriptions. One is a handwritten general prescription. One is an e-prescription. Now let us see the difference. As per the Drugs and Cosmetics Rule 1945, Section 65, Clause 10, Subclause ABC, all these subclause, they say that the prescription shall be in writing and be signed. So it has to be handwritten. But in e-prescription, the e-prescription is allowed as per the Pharmacy Practice Regulations of 2015, Chapter 1, Section 2J. It can be typed or printed. So both the general prescription as well as the e-prescriptions are valid. And prescription means a written or an electronic direction. Now, what we have been seeing is, we have seen many prescriptions where the drugs are written down, printed, typed, name and details, everything is typed, but the signature is somewhat like this, either the left one or the right one, the electronic signatures. Now, these two signatures, these are electronic signatures where you just sign a paper and take a photograph and paste it. That is an electronic signature. On the other is, if you scroll your finger on a tablet or a phone, smartphone or a screen or whatever, that is an electronic signature. These two are electronic signatures. Electronic signatures are not acceptable in e-prescriptions. This is as per the IT Act 2000. So what you need to do is, you need to have a digital signature. The right showing here is a digital signature. All these three are my signature. The right one is a digital signature. What is the difference between digital signature and an electronic signature? Electronic signature is very easy to copy. It is very easy to do some fraud maneuvers. You can just simply cut and paste Photoshop and paste it everywhere, wherever you want. But digital signature means it has some codes. This signature cannot be produced by others other than yourself, because you have a password, you have a token for it. Now, many persons, they might not have the understanding of what a digital signature is. A digital signature can be purchased very easily, right? So for e-prescriptions, digital signature is the correct, but these electronic signatures are not acceptable. For let's go back to the general prescription. If you are writing a prescription by hand, you are signing it, do not forget to put your stamp. On top, you will also be, displaying your registration number and other things as per the format of the telemedicine practice guidelines. But if this prescription is handwritten, you are signing it and you are putting a stamp on it, and then you scan the document or take a photograph of it and then send to the patients, this is acceptable. There is no harm in doing that. That is acceptable by law. Now, where can you purchase these digital signatures? As per the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India, these are the only certifying agencies for digital signature. How to procure it? You just go to any of the websites, fill up the details, pay a minimal amount of maybe say 1,000 or 1,200 rupees, and within 10 days, you will get a digital signature. Later on, if you keep on renewing your digital signature, you can continue it for prolonged periods of time. There is no harm in that. So it's better to have a digital signature if you are, giving out e-prescriptions. The telemedicine practice guidelines gives 4 lists of drugs, which is list O, A, B, and the prohibited list. O is over-the-counter drugs, and TOG guidelines also gives the similar list, although with a different name of to the prohibited list, which they have termed as C list. Now, over-the-counter drugs, there is no problem in understanding. Prohibited drugs, there is no problem in understanding. Also at the list C, as per the TOG guidelines. So there is no problem in these two. We have some reservations on accepting the list A and B of the telepsychiatry operational guidelines. Both this list A and list B are somewhat confusing, and we are yet to comprehend why they have created this list. For new consultation, something else; for follow-up consultation, something else; for refilling, something else. So it's quite confusing. And if you look at the telepsychiatry operational guidelines, they have given a list of drugs, psychotropic drugs, antidepressant drugs in list A, which the justification seems somewhat odd to us. Maybe over the years it will change. But as of now, so these are the lists which are available. You can go through the guidelines. It's there. Let us come to the privacy and security issues. We should know certain things that India, as of now, it does not have any data protection law. In UK, there is a GDPR and HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This is US, which regulates the privacy and security concerns. This is outside India. The IT Act of 2000, as per the Amendment Act of 2008, Section 43A and Section 72A, they now say that compensation for failure to protect the data is punishable. So we need to protect the data. The Information Technology Act, the same act, they also came up with certain rules. Now, if you remember the telemedicine practice guidelines, it says that if you maintain a reasonable degree of safety for data of the patient, you should not be afraid of anything. So here, the reasonable word or the reasonable practices has come from these rules. This is reasonable security practices and procedures and sensitive personal data or information rules 2011. According to these rules, what is the sensitive personal data or information? Sensitive personal data or information which relates to us is point number 3. If you see, physical, physiological, and mental health condition, sexual orientation, medical records and history. So we all deal with all these 3 things. So we need to protect, we deal with sensitive personal information. So we need to know what is security and privacy. And the last point is any of the information received under the above clauses by body corporate for processing, stored, or processed under lawful contract or otherwise. We all come under this sensitive information. Reasonable security practices and procedures, they say, a body corporate or a person shall be considered to have complied with reasonable security practices and procedures if they have implemented such security practices and standards and have a comprehensive documented information security program and information security policies that contain, this is more important, that contain managerial, technical, operational, and physical security control. Why I am highlighting this thing is, say, initially I told you WhatsApp is not HIPAA compliant, but only relying on technology to be a HIPAA compliant or a data protective software will not help us. It has to be at the managerial level. It has to be at the technical level. It has to be operational. So for example, if I hand over my phone or my tablet or laptop or desktop, whatever, passwords and everything to multiple different persons, that is my lack of, my carelessness. So there is no managerial responsibility here. So I will be liable for that. Then I will not be considered, even if I use a very high-tech software or technology, I'll not be, I'll be held accountable for. In the event of an information security breach, the body corporate or a person on its behalf shall be required to demonstrate that you have taken steps to implement security control measures. Now, I'm not trying to make you afraid of going for telemedicine, but we should know these things because anyway, we all mental health professionals have been dealing with sensitive personal data, but for technological use, we need to be a little bit more cautious. That's it. In the landmark judgment delivered in August 2017, the Supreme Court of India has also recognized the right to privacy. And then later on, the government of India has come up with the PDP bill which is the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019. This is the first bill in India, and very soon in 2020 this will come as an act. So hopefully we will have a lot of guidance there in carrying out this teleconsultations. So what can we do? We can provide the limited access to your technical devices. Do not hand over the devices, your teleconsultation devices, to multiple different persons. Use passwords, and very important is back up your data. You never know these technological things when they can go corrupt. The desktop, be it a smartphone or sometimes you may drop it or something might happen, it might fall into the water. So always back up your data. While sharing information, anonymize that data. It is very important. Otherwise, there again, it will be breach of confidentiality. So these are certain things which I wanted to highlight in privacy and security measures. But while doing telemedicine, you should know how to go about this data management. We have a lot of data. You will have, if you use WhatsApp, you will have data. If you use video call, you will have data. If you take prescriptions, send prescriptions, you will have data. How to manage all this? So all electronic records of communication with the patient has to be kept. This is mandatory. You also need to keep a log of all interaction. It can be a call log, video log. Now the Telemedicine Society of India says that it is not necessary for you to always have a software to maintain the logs. You can simply maintain a register that yes, so-and-so has consulted me on this day, this was his number, this was his name, this is the identification. So you can keep a log of that. If you are generating a prescription and you are sending it to the patient, it's better to keep the hard copy of that prescription. Records of any video or audio of the patient with prior consent, you should keep. And disclosure of the data has to be as per the law. So this is step-by-step guide of how we keep the data of our communication with the patient. We communicate everything with the patient through WhatsApp, but we make a teleconsultation. The video consultation is done by a different software. So in WhatsApp, I'm just showing you a template. If you click on the 3 right dots here, you will see that screen comes up, which says more, group info, group India. So if you click more, you will see there is an option called export chat. If you press this, they will ask you whether you want to include the media to export. Always include the media. So whatever communication has taken place between you and the patient, all prescriptions, all chats, all images, everything will be shared with you to your address. We then export it to our Gmail address. In Gmail, what you can do is you can label the messages, whatever has come. So if I export a chat from WhatsApp, it will appear like this: WhatsApp chat with so and so and so. We will label it as WhatsApp docs, and incoming calls through that software will come as incoming call. So we'll label it as video call. So this is all automated. It will automatically come to your Gmail. So that is a good thing. So we are not keeping any handwritten logs. This is all automated. And you can see here that I have put all these blanks here because I need to anonymize the data here because I'm presenting something. I cannot disclose the phone numbers. I cannot disclose the names. So I've anonymized. You need to be careful with that. Once you export the chat, you can see here that you can there are certain images here and also certain Word documents. These Word documents are nothing but these chat. Whatever you have chat text with the patient, everything will be downloaded. It will be saved in your email. So email means in your Google Drive. So it's in a safe place, considering that Google does not do any tampering with this data. Anyway, so this is the data management that we are following. Now, it's been around 3 months since we have started the telemedicine practices, and we have come across a lot of difficulties, but also we found out certain solutions, easy solutions. The biggest difficulty at times is the low bandwidth. The internet connection in the rural areas is not that developed. So, but obviously we have a good connection here in the in our hospital. So again, this might be through in your end also. So you need to have, for a video connection, you need to have a good internet connection. That is a necessity. So in such cases, what you can do is what sometimes we do, we initially start a video consultation. We talk to the patient for a while with patients, and then we switch over to a different mode. We turn off the video and we do an audio consultation. Then if required, we again go back to the video. So this gives us some flexibility. Technology illiteracy. This is applicable for us consultants. We are medical professionals. We are not from the engineering background, and also to our patients. They are not that tech savvy. They do not know how to even switch on the camera, how to switch on the microphone for a video call. And sometimes it so happens that after inserting the headphone, it creates a lot of extra noise. So the more instructions you send out to the patients of how to connect, what to do, what not to do, please be seated in one place where you have good internet connection. Do not move around. Be patient. Once, if you need to move, change place with the patient or the attendant, let the person change, not the phone, or maybe just switch, restart your phone. So these are certain technical arrangements. If you make, it becomes easy. Identification from both ends is very important. We got a question from one of the patient. She was a bit in doubt. She was skeptical to come for teleconsultation. After coming, she questioned us. Are you really from LGBRIMH? How can I trust you? So this is very important, that the identification from both the ends has to be there. Now for the patient, obviously you will have the data. You can ask for always ask. You can ask, seek proof. You can ask Aadhaar card, you can ask driver's license, they will show you, and you can keep a photo of that. If required, you can ask previously at the time of appointment. And for yourself, if you want to, prove your identity, you can do it from the very first. You can use your name, you can use your registration number when sending the appointments, sending any documents in your prescriptions, or in the back of your videogram, you can have a logo, you can have a nameplate. So as many, it's always better if you use as many as possible, identifications. The fourth is lack of privacy. What happens is, our people, they are they're very interested in seeing what is going on, how teleconsultation can be done. So one video is on here and 3-4 people standing on the back, the patient in between, people are talking and the patient is speaking here. They are all listening to the doctor. So it becomes, so the privacy is very lacking. In other times where you think that the privacy is not a very big issue, you can go ahead with the consultation. Or if you think the privacy is required, talk directly to the patient. And are you comfortable or you want to talk alone? If she says yes or he says yes, please ask them to have a private conversation. You have done teleconsultation, you have given prescription. But what happens is sometimes in remote areas, there are no pharmacy to give these medications. So that is a pathetic condition of India still, but we have to handle this. We cannot say no to telemedicine. So what we did initially was through our helpline numbers, we started circulating the list of pharmacy, the list of personnel who deals with this pharmacy, the location of this pharmacy, the phone numbers, the medications available, everything with our patients. So in teleconsultations also, if you are willing, you can help them by this way. Regarding payments, we do not have much experience, I should say, because ours is a free hospital. But definitely, yes, payments needs to be looked into, and it's always better to talk to them before. And you need to have a portal where you can, take the money as well as give them the invoice. This is very important. In conclusion, see, considering the current scenario and the timely release of the telemedicine practice guidelines, this teleconsultation is here to stay for long. Teleconsultation was never illegal in India. Only now we have a better guideline to guide us, to show us the track. So this thing is going to stay here for long. And with more experiences and research, new technology and methods definitely will evolve. And you take it as a rule that once you start telemedicine practice, you will get hiccups and disappointments. These are the rule. But do not be disheartened, because internet is still underdeveloped in our country, and once 5G comes up, it will be much, much better. But while doing telemedicine, we have also, we started gathering data from the patients like how much they have to spend for one consultation. People come from Hailakandi, they come from Dhubri, they have to stay overnight, show us, and then go back. So this takes around 5,000, 6,000 rupees, sometimes 10,000 rupees if they come by car. So there's huge money, time, which is lost by these patients and their family members. By just doing teleconsultation, you are helping out these patients. And some patients are really very thankful to us for starting this. So you will definitely get the satisfaction of giving the teleconsultation. But to do this, we need to remain updated and follow the professional code of ethics while delivering the services. In this presentation, this is what I had to say. If you have any questions regarding the functioning of our model, or you need any clarification further, please drop an email. This is my personal email, vijay50@gmail.com. I'll be very happy to answer you all, because we all need to learn from each other and then share this learning, whatever we have gained. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, you are mute, I guess. दास सर
सर आपका म्यूट है सर दास सर आपका म्यूट है
Hello, once again. So thank you so much, Vijay, Dr. Vijay, and congratulations too for your excellent presentation, and especially from the perspective of your personal experiences which you have shared with us. I think this will enrich our knowledge and our orientation also towards this telemedicine. Because of your own experience, I think you're the most experienced person at this present moment in Assam. So far the psychiatry is concerned, since you have in your institution, you have already launched a telemedicine. So I'd like to invite questions from the participants, but before that, I'd like to put 2-3 questions which have come to my mind. Vijay, first of all, you have also mentioned the difficult side, the advantageous side. Yes, definitely the patient can save a lot of money. They can save a lot of. With your experience during last 3 months or so, first of all, have you applied this telemedicine to new patient? Number one, although the rules says that no, you cannot apply this telemedicine to a new patient. Now, how you have overcome this problem? Number two, what is your view about the, you have already mentioned in one of the slides regarding technology literacy, especially from the perspective of the patient, not from the perspective of the therapist. Probably today, if I'm not much equipped with telemedicine, tomorrow it will be a little easier for me to learn about it, to gather my devices. Already all the physicians, all the doctors pretend they have devices and they have some basic knowledge regarding this technology. But whatever the people who are in the rural belt, who are the, although they have Android, most of us probably today, they have Android phones, but even then I feel personally that they have a certain problem. And thirdly, see, it is said that for a psychiatrist, telemedicine is little easier because probably sometime we can do away without having a physical examination, although we can have the reports of physical examination of the patient. But we sometimes, even if we don't physically directly, examine a patient, even as a psychiatrist, you can do it. But what is your experience observing a patient at close quarter, in close encounter? His behavior, how he's talking, also interacting instead of virtual. What is your experience about that? Then I have more questions I'll put later on.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for asking this question, sir. Coming to your first question regarding new cases, sir, we are presently catering to 2 categories of patients. One is a follow-up patient of LGBRIMH. Second is new patients through a registered medical practitioner. So the new patient will come to an RMP, that RMP will consult us, and then we will have a teleconsultation. So this is the way that we are handling new cases. However, the telemedicine practice guidelines give us the permission to go ahead with new cases.
They have given the permission?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. However, for a new case, because it is a first consult, you mandatorily have to have video consultation. It cannot be by phone, it cannot be by text, it has to have video consultation. It gives
but then there is also mentioned that suppose you have examining a patient, you have examined a patient physically 6 months back, Now, if he has, already 6 months is over, then that patient should be considered as a new.
Yes. Yes, sir. So then,
How do you?
that's what. If it crosses beyond 6 months, that becomes a first consult. So you can do that first consult through video, sir. Telemedicine guidelines allows that. The second question relating to the use of technology. Sir, why we have selected WhatsApp is because WhatsApp is used by billions and billions of people, and people are more comfortable with it. If you ask them to download an app, they will not download it. They will find it very cumbersome. But WhatsApp, they are so comfortable. In fact, they want to do video consultation with us through WhatsApp. And sometimes we do it. If they are not able to log in through that video application, we do it. So WhatsApp is very.
Just like to interrupt for a moment, because this is a discussion. I think you can go ahead and discuss. You see, before this lockdown scenario came to existence, I was even finding it very difficult to handle one phone. Sometimes I used to switch it off. Very difficult. In a day-to-day practice. During the lockdown period, I have been handling 3 phones,
Yes.
and especially in the first lockdown. I think during the first lockdown period, I took up a new SIM. And that particular phone, even if it was not for the purpose of telemedicine, I tried to save the number of all my patient, their WhatsApp number, and then I was trying to communicate that I'm not available. I'll be available from this point on the time. Although it was not a kind of a telemedicine, I was advising in an indirect manner. At least I try to comfort them. Yes, your doctor is available.
Yes.
After 2 or 3 months, now I'm exhausted. It is very difficult. I'm finding it very difficult. But that should not be a, obstacles. That should not be a reason that we should stop this. Anyway, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. That is why I gave the difference between, government setup and a private setup, because the private setup, you are the sole person. You will have to do everything. So you need to have a definite appointment time, appointment date. Everything has to be scheduled. But sir, definitely WhatsApp is a wonder because people like it. Somehow, I don't know, they find it very easy. And the good about our application, doxy.me, is you don't have to install the app. We will send you a link. Just click the link and it will open up in Google Chrome and we will have a chat. So it is that easy. It's not like Zoom that you have to enter.
Okay, I'll come to Tesur and train myself under you for 2-3 days.
Our pleasure, sir. Our pleasure.
Okay. Now I'd like to invite other participants to join in the discussion and put forward your opinion, your inputs about this. I think Mr. Chinmaya Sahu, you can coordinate for the participants to participate in the discussion.
Yeah,
and,
so there is all are actually congratulating, and there is only one question that you have asked: is it necessary to have audio recording of phone call under telephonic consultation by Dr. Amal Vaishya? So,
sir, I will answer this question. As per the telemedicine practice guidelines, they say that it is not mandatory to record the video, to record the audio calls. Only thing which is mandatory is a log. So you need to keep a log of the audio calls that you have received, who has called, what name, what was his phone number, purpose of consultation, what was his identification mark, everything, and then you can keep a sheet. So that is what is required. Even for video calls, you need not record everything. So that is not required as per the telemedicine practice guidelines.
So only this single question has come right now.
Okay. Any participants? I have not seen the participants' faces here in the video screen. Any participants would like to join and put forward their comment, opinion about it? Anybody is already experienced like Vijay in this telemedicine? I have installed telemedicine in my laptop, of course. The software has been installed, but I have not, probably I need little more training about it. Anyone?
No, sir, no questions yet.
So in that case, should I give a concluding remark? Or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dr. Vijay, can you just stop sharing the screen so that Dr. Das can be, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Well, am I audible? Still audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope participants are still there. Well,
Yes,
my
sir.
concluding remark will be like this, once Charles Darwin, he stated, it is not the strong who survives. It is not the intelligence who survive in this art. It is most who are responsive to changes. It is only they who survive in this earth. You know, we need to respond to any changes in our life. Unless we respond to them, it will be very difficult to survive. And this corona has been teaching us this particular statement. And last few months, I don't know, I've been sharing this statement. It is not the strong, neither the intelligent who survive. It is the most responsive to the changes. And there is another statement: progress is impossible without change. And those people who cannot change their mindset cannot progress. I wish we need to adapt with any change that comes in our life, anytime, any moment, in any form. Today, as a practitioner, telemedicine is a new change for us. It is a new norms. There are definitely initial hiccups. There are certain difficulties, of course. And of course, even me, I have been still not fully, keen to go ahead with the telemedicine, but I know at some point of time I have to. So therefore, a discussion like this will definitely help all of us. And I therefore once again congratulate and offer my sincere thanks to Bijoy, because Bijoy is the most experienced and he has very nicely and in an excellent manner shared his experiences. So therefore, let us respond to the changes that we as a physician and a psychiatrist, they are expressing in our day-to-day practicing life. Let us progress and change our mindset. Let us progress, let us be optimistic, and let us be positive. So let us equip and try to adapt with telemedicine as quickly as possible so that we can serve our community, our patients in a more better and more meaningful way till the social distance norm becomes zero and we can again touch each other, again come to a social contact with our patient, again we can come in contact with Vijay when he presents a seminar like this. We'll not call it a webinar, we'll call it a seminar in a close context circuit. Let us hope for that. I'm very optimistic. Thank you so much for offering me this platform to moderate this particular session, and it was really pleasure to moderate Vijay's session. Vijay, thank you so much and keep it up. You are the future of Assam psychiatry. Please keep it up and guide your colleagues, your juniors, and also disseminate all your knowledge, whatever you experience, with all your colleagues. And that is the spirit of the psychiatry in Assam. Thank you so much and all the best. Stay safe. And I can see the smiling faces of Mr. Neil Kamal Jain, my friend.
Thank you.
How are you, Mr. Jain?
Sir, fine. Very good evening,
Dina.
sir.
I missed Dina at your place last time.
Sir, please do come fast, sir. I pray to God that Corona should go away. You and Dr. Vijay do come, sir. And my colleague from Guwahati, Gitu Mani, should also come home, sir.
What about my wife? I would like to take my wife with me.
Pardon, sir?
I would like to take my wife with me.
Yes, yes, always, sir. You will come with Babiji only.
I was so delighted to visit your home last time. Thank you
my
so
pleasure,
much.
Sir.
Anyway,
my pleasure, sir.
Please,
my pleasure again meeting you on this platform. And thank you very much, Dr. Vijay, for putting this tele-psychiatry for North and East. And I'm sure this is future in times to come. This concept is catching up very fast in large metro city. And I have feedback about Ahmedabad, which was given by my CMD yesterday, that most of the psychiatrists, they are seeing their patient around 20 to 30 patients per day through tele-psychiatry. So tele-psychiatry is definitely future, and earlier the better it is. Whosoever will adopt will benefit from this wonderful tool. And thank you, Dr. Jayanta Das. Under your leadership, I think Northeast is safe when it comes to psychiatry, because you have taught most of the students what is psychiatry in Assam. And soon, sir, we will try to meet each other in person also. So then from this webinar, we'll make it seminar, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sidmoy Sahu, and thank you, Gitubani. Any final comment from the inters?
Dr. Michael D'Souza is also there, sir. Dr. Michael D'Souza. Dr. Michael D'Souza.
I would also like to thank IPS Assam State Branch for inviting me as a speaker and giving me this platform, and the INTAS for supporting this webinar. And thank you so much, Jayanta Das sir. Your comments are really inspiring for us, and we'll definitely like to meet each other and take forward this telemedicine with your suggestion and your model boosting comments. Really, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Jayanta Das sir and Dr. Vijay. Thank you very much for your very bright and enriching presentation on the most current topic of telemedicine, which is definitely very much needed in the remote places. And you have also enriched us also, sir, about WhatsApp, the utility of WhatsApp, as well as having side by side the Dr. EXE platform. This is a good thing which we can also look and propagate to many others who would like to take up telemedicine in a big way. Thank you very much, Dr. Vijay, and thank you very much, Director Das. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now we take your leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We can discontinue the live session.